Romario de Souza Faria was born on January 29, 1966, and raised in one of Rio de Janeiro's largest favelas, named Jacarezinho, cultivating his soccer skills on the streets. His humble origins didn't stop him from pursuing greatness. As a teenager, he was spotted playing for a small local club, Olaria, and swiftly picked up by Vasco da Gama's youth academy. With Vasco, young Romario won state titles and even became top scorer of the 1988 Olympic football tournament, announcing himself to the world known as Baixinho, Shorty in a free translation. But with an outsized talent, he was on the fast track to stardom. He was a goal machine and world champion. Standing only 1.67 meters, Romario relied on lightning reflexes and uncanny positional sense. In 1988, he moved to PSV Eindhoven, where he scored a staggering 165 goals in 167 games and won 3 Dutch league titles. A lethal striker renowned for clinical finishing, he eventually amassed over 700 career goals, ranking among the greatest forwards of all time. A move to Johan Cruyff's Barcelona in 1993 put Romario on an even bigger stage. He formed a deadly partnership with Hristo Stoichkov in Cruyff's dream team, helping Barca to the La Liga title in 1993-94 as the league's top scorer with 30 goals. That season included an iconic hat-trick in a 5-0 El Clásico win over Real Madrid. Highlighted by a genius toe poke goal that left defenders for dead. Cruyff himself lauded Romario's unpredictable brilliance. His technique was outstanding, and he scored goals from every possible position. On the international stage, Romario delivered Brazil its long-awaited glory. In the 1994 World Cup, he led Brazil's attack with 5 goals, 1 in each group game, and decisive strikes in the knockout rounds, carrying Brazil to its 4th world title. He assisted Bebeto for a crucial goal and calmly converted his penalty in the final shootout against Italy. His performances earned him the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player and the FIFA World Player of the Year award that same year. Pelé had been the last Brazilian to shine that brightly on the world stage. Romario's popularity reached such heights that he was voted the 5th best player of the 20th century in a FIFA internet poll, a sign of how fans embraced his magic. Images of him celebrating the title with teammates turned him into a national hero overnight. Apparently short on humility, long on talent, Romario was never one to hide his confidence. As one journalist perfectly put it, he was short on humility, long on talent, and he lived up to both. At PSV, his coach, Gus Hiddink, said Romario would often promise before matches, "Don't worry, I'll score and we'll win." And guess what? Most of the time, he delivered. His boldness extended off the pitch too. There's one story that perfectly sums him up. While at Barcelona, Romario asked coach Johan Cruyff if he could skip training to attend Rio's carnival. Cruyff jokingly said he could go, but only if he scored 2 goals in the next match. Romario didn't laugh. The next day, he scored twice by the 20th minute and signaled to be subbed off. "Coach, my plane leaves in an hour." Cruyff laughed and let him go. By the way, the match was a 5-0 win over Real Madrid. That's Romario. Show up, score goals, catch flights. Iconic. A colorful off-field life. Romario took his fun seriously. He loved the nightlife, once owned a nightclub in Rio, and openly admitted to chasing women with the same intensity he chased goals. But, surprisingly, you might think I'm kidding, but he was never drunk. In his words, "I've never had a drink, not a drop. Who says you have to get drunk to have fun?" In his prime, he was a notorious playboy, always surrounded by models, parties, and headlines. He's been married and divorced 3 times and has 7 children. Proof that he kept busy both on and off the field. One of his sons, Romarinho, became a footballer. One of his daughters, Ivy, was born with Down syndrome. A moment that deeply impacted him and reshaped his priorities. Not every headline was flattering. In 2009, Romario was briefly jailed for unpaid child support. He settled it and was released shortly after. That wasn't his only drama. In 1998, after being cut from Brazil's World Cup squad, Romario opened a bar in Rio and had the bathroom doors decorated with caricatures of the coaching staff, one as a man on a toilet, the other holding toilet paper. Yep, he was that salty. The stunt ended in a lawsuit, but it also cemented Romario's image as football's ultimate rascal. And then there's his sharp tongue. When Pelé once suggested he should retire, Romario snapped back with a line that became legend in Brazil. "Pelé is a poet when he's silent." He even said Pelé should put a shoe in his mouth. Brutal.
Na verdade, o Pelé calado é poeta, né? Mais uma vez, ele tem que se meter na vida dele, não tem que se meter na minha vida, que eu não me meto na vida dele. Tem que trocar, tinha que colocar sapato na boca, era melhor para ele.
But Romario did pay his respects years later when Pelé passed. proving even the brashest characters can show class. From football to politics, a new goal. Romario retired from football in 2009, not before celebrating what he claimed as his 1,000th goal with a full-blown on-field party. But he didn't drift into obscurity. He was out there playing beach soccer for Brazil, winning foot volley tournaments in Miami, and proving he could dominate any game that had a ball and a net. But we are far from the end yet. The birth of Ivy, his daughter with Down syndrome, had shown him firsthand how little support Brazilian families had for children with disabilities. This inspired him to run for office. In 2010, Romario was elected to Brazil's Congress, where he pushed for inclusion, support for Paralympic sports, and better access for people with disabilities. In 2014, he was elected senator for Rio de Janeiro. The party animal had become a respected lawmaker. He led investigations into World Cup spending, exposed corruption in Brazil's football federation, and called for reforms to democratize the sport's leadership. His speeches were direct, passionate, and often hilarious. "We need to shut this faucet of corruption and invest in youth," he once declared. Who knew Romario would go from juking defenders to grilling corrupt politicians? He even helped pass laws that guaranteed lifetime pensions for Olympic and Paralympic medalists, a cause close to his heart. In 2018, he ran for governor of Rio. He didn't win, but the message was clear. Romario was not done changing Brazil. Reinvention as a communicator. As if football legend and politician weren't enough, Romario is now thriving as a media personality. In January 2025, he launched his own YouTube talk show, De Cara, Como Cara, Face to Face with the Guy. He kicked things off in style, interviewing Neymar Jr. as his first guest. The show was casual, funny, unscripted, just Romario being Romario. His charisma translates perfectly to the screen. Episodes are packed with behind-the-scenes stories, real talk about the pressure on young players, and hilarious throwbacks from his 1994 teammates. Romario's once controversial personality is now his greatest asset. He's relatable, raw, and real, and audiences love it. Even brands are lining up to sponsor the show. He's gone from scoring goals to scoring views, and doing it with the same swagger. And just when you thought his story couldn't get any more unbelievable. In 2024, at the age of 58, Romario made headlines again. Not for politics, not for YouTube, but for returning to the pitch. Why? To play alongside his son, Romario, at America RJ. The man just refuses to leave the game. And honestly, we love him for it. The legacy of O Baixinho. Romario's life feels like it was written for a Netflix series. He's the kid from the favela who conquered the world, the genius who danced between defenders, the rebel who called out legends, the politician who fought corruption, and now the host who's winning over a new generation. On the field, he was pure brilliance. Off the field, he was chaos, charm, controversy, and charisma, all rolled into one. While Pelé had grace, Maradona had drama, and Ronaldinho had flair. Romario had something rarer, the full package. He wasn't the tallest player, but in personality, he might have been the biggest football character of them all. Love him or hate him, you never forgot him. And that's what makes Romario the most complete character in football history. Do you like this video? So make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more quality content.